What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is Black Ink Crew Season 5, Episode 8. So, look, whole lot went down this episode. Let's just jump on in. We have the aftermath of the fight. Somehow, footage of the fight got leaked. And so, it's all over the blogs. It's in the Shade Room. It's on TMZ. It's this, that, and the other. And so, Junior is dealing with the aftermath of it. And Adriana, of all people, is telling him, look, you need some anger management. You have a problem. She was like, look, I know that I like to fight. And I had to go to anger management, and Junior was like, well, I don't think I need anger management. She was like, I didn't either. Let me say this to you, Adriana. Whoever you went to anger management with, you need your money back. They failed. You still got an anger problem. But anyway, so, Junior is just talking about the fight or whatever. We find out that SP, SD, whoever, he's actually going to press charges. And they acted like he's doing something wrong. Let me tell y'all something. Junior threw the first punch. SP wasn't no innocent angel. But Junior, you threw the first punch. And you busted that man's lip. He has every right to press charges. So it is what it is. But I'm going to go on and get Junior out the way. So Junior agrees to go to anger management. And he goes to the counselor. And they get to talking or whatever. And Junior was like, look, I had to fight my whole life. Like, I've been fighting my whole life. Like, that's all I know. I got older brothers. And they were fighters. And I wanted to be like them and to get their respect. That's what I had to do. So that's what I know how to do. He talked about growing up, selling drugs, thugging, whatever. And that, basically, that's where he feels like the anger is coming from. And then we find out that he had a cousin who was like a best friend to him, who was like his brother, basically, died. And Junior blames himself for it. He says, I feel like when I left the hood, I left to create a better life for myself, but I left him there, and as a result, he was shot in the head, And the counselor was like, "That's not your fault. Like, it's not your fault that you have to let that guilt go." And then come to find out that Julia had never been to the gravesite. Junior had never been to the gravesite. So we see later on in the episode where, he goes to the gravesite and he's able to really say goodbye. And Junior gets really emotional throughout this episode. He's crying and stuff like that. So hopefully that will help because, like I said it last week on my review, Junior, you got a problem. All right. Bishop Don Juan. Don is like, look, I ain't really got a whole lot of time for all this extra stuff that's going on here at the shop. I'm trying to create, a situation. I'm trying to secure the bag for me and Ashley. We trying to move into a new house. We trying to do some things. And so he said some local talent scouts reached out to him to maybe offer some other opportunities for him to be able to, act and stuff like that. You see on his Instagram, he doing that whole Instagram model thing. Y'all know everybody do Fashion Nova for men, Fashion Nova, Tummy Tea, whatever. So he been doing that on his Instagram. But he's actually talking to these, these talent scouts, and they want to see, well, can you play this role? Can you play that role? And the comedic role, not so much, But when they asked him to be a drug dealer, honey, he had that down pat. He was a drug dealer. Don was like, hey, I can be a sugar daddy. Like, I know how to be a sugar daddy. Like, you want to be a sugar daddy? I can show you how to be a sugar daddy. And as a result, he actually got a cameo, because it don't look like, I don't watch this show, so let me not say on it. But it's a Amazon Prime show, and I'm going to check it out, because I actually have Amazon Prime. I'm going to check this show out. But it's an Amazon Prime show called Asunder. And so we see him actually acting and stuff like that. So, good for you, Don. Happy to see you taking this opportunity and moving it into some positive things. So that's what that is. So I'm gone and got that stuff out the way. So let's get to the real, okay? Alright, so Lily had a problem with the fight from day one. Lily was like, she felt like Junior was wrong, and she felt like that the fellas were wrong for defending Junior. She was like, I don't see nothing funny about it, because Ryan made a little joke or whatever, and she was like, I don't see nothing funny. Ryan was like, what? She was like, I don't see nothing funny. I don't think there's anything funny about this. And her thing is, the fight, Junior started it, and they shouldn't be defending it. They shouldn't be defending Junior because he's wrong. And that SP has every right to press charges if that's what he chooses to do. Now, that part I don't necessarily disagree with Lily. I do feel like I said it before last week and I'll say it again. But at the end of the day, like Ryan said, I'm not saying Junior was necessarily right, but at the end of the day, I'm going to ride with my family. I see that point too. I'm not getting ready to sit here and let no dude. Now, y'all know I've said it in other videos, a one-on-one fight ain't no problem. I'll never have a problem with no one-on-one fight. And I don't feel like those dudes tried to jump him until he came for the women. They were letting the situation play out until he spit on Adriana. And then it kind of escalated from there. Because technically that's an assault. And it's an assault on a woman. So it did sort of escalate after that. But neither here nor there. But see, here's where Lily went too far. Lily want to try to compare that situation to her situation. It's no comparison. See, and I said this last year, Lily ass should have been fired last year. Because Lily, it wasn't just the fighting. They all fight. It's a reality show. That's what we tune in for. The problem with Lily is she was sneaking people. And she was fighting off of like nothing. Like somebody blinked at her wrong and then she want to jump on somebody. That sucker punch that she hit Charmaine with at Ford's party last year. Her jumping on Danielle while she was sitting on the couch. See, that's the shit people had a problem with. It wasn't because you were fighting. It was the way you were fighting, and it was the way you approached people. At least my opinion. That's why I had a problem with you. The fighting, the shit they fight. But my problem was that you was sucker punching people and you was coming up on people, whatever. So we see them, talking or whatever. And Dawn was like, look, I don't want to have nothing to do with this. You see Lily, Dawn, Charmaine, and Bella sitting around talking, and Dawn leaves. Dawn was like, look, I don't want to have nothing to do with this. Nobody's talking about pressing charges. I ain't here to testify. I don't want to say I knew nothing about this conversation. Leave me out of it. I got other things I'm trying to do. And he rolls out. And then that's when Lily really goes in on how Mag was wrong, and, she was just really going, she didn't really go too extreme. Charmaine hyped it up a little bit more than what Lily had said, but basically Lily was like, she didn't see anything funny about it. She thought it was wrong, and she thought the guys were wrong, and that if it were her, it'd be a whole nother conversation, but the guys get a pass. But when she do something, then it's Lily this and Lily that, but the guys always seem to get a pass. And again, Lily's biggest problem is Lily don't see shit past herself, which we're gonna get to that in a minute. So Charmaine's attitude was, it ain't had nothing to do with you. For once, you weren't fighting, so it ain't your business. So you need to stay the fuck out of it and keep your opinions to yourself. Lily and Charmaine just don't like each other, so neither one can do anything right as far as the other one's concerned. You know what I mean? Because they just don't like each other. So we see a conversation with Danielle, Charmaine, and Charmaine's boyfriend. And basically Danielle is saying, look, did you peep this video that's out there that's making the rounds? And it's a video of Lily arguing with Jen, and it's a behind the scenes video. It wasn't even like regular filming. I mean, and her and Jen were arguing, and Van said it was after the camping trip last year that they got into it, and she's calling Jen all kinds of niggas. You a bitch ass nigga this and nigga that. And when they were in Jamaica, she called somebody nigga, and I thought I heard that, but y'all know it was so much cursing and it was so much chaos with the whole Jamaica fight that I wasn't sure if it was her, but I thought I heard her call somebody a nigga. Now, Danielle's thing was, that's a problem. Like, I don't think that's cool, and I got a problem with it. Charmaine was like, I got a problem with it too. Now, according to Charmaine, and this is off of her social media, she said that she approached Lily on 2 separate occasions outside of the show and said to her, I really wish, could you please stop using that word? Like, I really don't like you using that word. Could you stop using it? And Lily was basically like, fuck you. Now, that's according to Charmaine. But neither here nor there. Charmaine is like, you know what? I do have a problem with her using that word. I'm going to talk to her about it. Because, she need to stop saying it. It's disrespectful. I don't need to go through the whole using the word nigga, not using the word nigga, who can and who can't. I don't need to get into that conversation. What the end of the day is, or the end of what it is this is how I feel about it. And I've had a lot of different conversations about using the word nigga, so forth and so on. Here's my attitude about the situation. If you tell me it's offensive to you, then out of respect for you, I'm not going to use the word. I have friends who we call each other bitches all day long. Bitch. Da 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 da. Bitch, please. Da 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 da. But I also have friends who don't want, they not cool with it. They have a problem with it. They not cool with it. And because I'm their friend, I respect that. Now, as far as who can and who can't use the word nigga, again, I'm not getting ready to sit here and debate that whole issue, that whole topic. We could do that until the cows come home. When I worked at the jail, we had a whole conversation. I have a documentary on nigga that I show my students. And that was one of the questions that came up. One of the guys, this is when I was with the guy, because in the jail they separate the girls and the guys. So I had my girls separate, I had my boys separate. I, taught them at 2 different times. For those who don't know, I taught at the juvenile detention center for a while. And one day I was with the guys, and for some reason I always got along with my guys better than my girls. Girls, y'all got a whole nother set of attitudes. But we were having a good conversation, and there was a white boy there at the time, which wasn't a whole lot of white kids at juvenile detention. Catch that. But he even asked me one time, he was like, I have an honest question. And he was like, I understand why I can't say the word, but I don't understand why they get to say the word. And he specifically pointed at a Latino student. Now, granted, him and the Latino student had issues. They had already been into a fight, and they ain't like each other. But his question was his question, right? And my question back to them was, explain that to me, because I had a problem with it. As the teacher, well, I had a problem. I ain't let them use the word, period. But I definitely had a problem when I heard the Latino students use it, and it wasn't no problem. Like, the black kids didn't have a problem with it. Like, I had a problem with that. And so their explanation to me basically was what Lily's argument was. They down with us, they cool with us, they been oppressed like us, they done been through shit like we done been through shit, and as long as you ain't white, you good. What was interesting, though, once I showed them that documentary on the word nigga, and the history of the word, and how it had been used throughout history, they had a whole different attitude. Once we got done with that, they changed their whole mindset. Their mindset from that point was, nobody can use it. Can't nobody use it but us. And so I think a lot of times with this generation, with where we are now, they don't know the history. They know it was used as an oppressive word. They got that. But they don't understand how deep it went. They don't understand how deep that oppression went. And that's what Charmaine was saying. So anyway, I say all that to get to the last little piece, because basically Charmaine brought it to the group. It was Charmaine, Van, Don, Ryan, originally talking. And Charmaine was like, look, here's the video. And Van was like, I know about the video. I was there when it happened. Like, it was Jen that was involved, so I know the whole situation. Like, it is what it is. And Ryan acted like he hadn't seen it. I don't believe Ryan hadn't seen it, but his reaction was sort of like shock or whatever. But basically, once, Charmaine was talking about it or whatever, and that's when Van jumped on it. Van was like, I really have been trying to work with Lily. I really have been trying to rock with Lily. He was like, but at this point, I just can't. I'm with Charmaine. Because Charmaine's attitude is I don't even want her working here anymore. Like, I don't feel comfortable working with somebody. She ain't that great of a tattoo artist, which is a lie. Lily is actually pretty good. I don't have an artistic eye, but, I think she's a pretty good tattoo artist. I'm sure somebody who has an artistic eye will tell me different, but Don didn't really, I don't remember Don giving a major attitude one way or the other. But at the end of the day, Don's thing was, he did have a problem with her using the word, but he wasn't like she need to be fired. Like, I don't remember him saying all that. But Van and Charmaine was like, she need to go. So Lily happens to walk in on this conversation. And of course, Lily was like, I know Charmaine been feeling the way she been feeling for some time, but I've been waiting for her to just come to me like a woman and talk to me about it. Well, she said she did, but again, her word against yours, whatever. So Lily's attitude is, so the fuck what? I said it. I'll never say it in a racial way. Because Charmaine is trying to make it out to be like Lily is a racist. I don't think Lily is a racist. I think Lily is misinformed. And I think Lily feels like she's entitled to use the word because she grew up in the hood and whatever. I don't think Lily is racist. I think really Lily's ignorant as shit. Now, I do believe that. But I don't believe that Lily is racist. But Charmaine was making out to be that Lily was racist, and she went on to talk to Lily. That mind you, she was hollering when she said it, but she went on to try to explain to Lily how this word was used to oppress people. It was used to rape people, kill people, my ancestors. And Lily is going to throw back at Charmaine, what you know about it anyway? You just a white girl. And that's when Ryan, like, you saw Ryan's face was like, what? Like, dude. And, you know, Charmaine was like, do you know how disrespectful that was, what you just said to me? Like, that you would call a black woman a white girl because I talk proper, because I grew up a certain kind of way, because, you know what I mean? Because I have education, because I'm an educated black woman. Like, is that what you trying to say? And so Van then tried to, you know, of course, you know, Van had to get loud and start yelling too. But Van tried to put his little 2 cents in it too, to be basically, you know, get Lily to understand. And the problem was Lily wouldn't back down. And Lily wouldn't say, you know what, I hear what y'all are saying. I didn't mean it in a racial way. But, all right, I'm going to stop using it because I hear what y'all are saying to me. Again, going back to what I said about the word bitch. You don't have to like it. But if I'm saying to you as my coworker, as my friend, this is a word that I'm not comfortable with you using because of what's connected to that word, then the adult thing to do would be to say, okay, I won't use it anymore. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. But see, Lily won't back down from that. In Lily's mind, she's justified in using the word, and it's okay, and she's not going to back down from it. So this is where I feel like Charmaine went wrong. Charmaine started talking about how she don't want to work there, and she think Lily need to be fired, and basically threw an ultimatum at, and then Van, said the same thing, and Van basically threw an ultimatum at Ryan. Now here's my problem. If we're going to go along with the storyline of the show, Van and Charmaine, y'all asses just got back up in the shop. And Charmaine, your ass still on thin ice from that damn Vegas trip. Y'all are in no position to throw an ultimatum at Ryan. And then Charmaine going to be like, Ryan, don't ride the fence now. Ryan's like, hold up, player. Like, I'm not riding no damn fence. Like, I'm listening. I'm taking it all in. I ain't riding the fence, but I'm going to listen, and I'm going to make a decision what's in the best interest of the shop, not because you personally. He was like, why we can't just be adults and work together without it being an issue? Like, you don't have to like each other, but we can't just work together. And Don was kind of saying the same thing. Like, yeah, basically. So, I understand where y'all coming from, but y'all not in a position to throw no ultimatums. You really not. And Ryan really turned to Lily and was like, look, do you really, like, what Ryan, again, I feel like what Ryan was trying to get Lily to say was, I hear what y'all saying, and I respect it. I'm going to take it in, and y'all are right. I won't use the word anymore. And Van even threw it at her, and I don't know what words he was using because they bleeped them out, but I'm sure he was saying, like, wet back and spick. I'm sure, and Lily going to say, that's different. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, no, that's different now, bitch. It's the same thing. It's a word that was used in a derogatory way against your people, and it's not okay. And if Van was using that word and calling you that every time he got mad at you and called you that word, you'd be fighting every single time. So, no, it's not different. There's no difference in it. And so Ryan going to finally turn to Lily and say, look, do you want to work here? Like, are you hearing what people are saying? Do you even want to try to make a change? And do you want to still work here? And Lily was like, man, and now she's starting to cry. You know, you can hear it in her voice. I got to feed my family. So, I mean, yeah, I got to do what I got to do because I got to feed my family. But, again, she wouldn't back down. She wouldn't acknowledge or back down. So, finally, Ryan looked at her and was like, look, I feel like maybe you just need to take some time and figure it out. Because at the end of the day, all you had to say, I won't use the word anymore. You're right. I won't use the word anymore. But you don't seem to think you're doing anything wrong. And you don't seem to think there's anything wrong with you using that word. So, anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. I feel like I'm missing some stuff, but it was a lot of that argument. They went back and forth, but I mean, the crux of the situation is what it is. So, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.